Good afternoon. Today is October 14th, 2019. My name is Oluwale Okabola with Spartacus Trading Corporation, here to bring you the prep report for October 15th. That will be Tuesday. Well, talk about today, I guess. Nothing, nothing. But if you had a chance to look at my pre market report, I kind of laid out the scenario at the time if the market was proposing a gap or proposing to trade lower. The market had to, one, keep the gap, or two, once we take out Friday's low, stay below Friday's low, because if not, the market was short. I talked about it in the morning report as well as the prep report for the 14th, that the market was short and why. Also, what I forgot to mention, but I did, let you know the market's short. This is a 45-degree line. It's a traditional 45-degree line. I noticed it this morning when I was trading. So nevertheless, market tried to get out, found no acceptance, kept coming in and out, forced the shorts to cover, but no action today. I guess because today's a holiday. I have no idea. But nevertheless, those folks who are thinking short because of what they saw from the bar chart from Friday, seeing all this excess, they were thinking short. The first clue for them is we can take out yesterday's low. If we did, can we stay below? We couldn't. They covered, but not much. I believe some more stops are above. And we also know about the gap. Another reason why folks are anxious to short, probably, and couldn't understand why we could not go any lower, because they did not have an appreciation for Friday's daytime inventory and balance. However, we still got this gap that could be filled. Okay, um, so we'll talk about it today. Today's a real easy light review because nothing happened. All right, we're one time framing lower. I've talked about it in several reports. You got to refer to those past reports. The significance of this October open and passing it. I mean October. Yeah, October's open. The significance of passing October's open. All right. Um, One time framing down, 2 weeks. We, I don't think this week took out last week's high, the week before. Yeah, so it's still barely right, but one time framing down. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks. One time framing down, 4 weeks. Um, we still in that multi-week balance over 12 weeks. I got it. Oop. Over 12 weeks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Within this 12-week balance area, we have balance within balance. How do I determine the 12 weeks? If a range closed back within a previous range, that's balance. So we have this way back here. This range closing that range, that's balance. This range closing this range, that's balance. Balance, because we closed in. Balanced. Come back, still part of this multi-week balance area. Balance. Close, balance, balance, balance. You get the point. That's why we got a 12-week balance area. Okay? All right, so within that 12-week balance area, we got a 4 week. 1, 2, 3, 4. This week closing that. There. Okay? 3 weeks. 1, 2, 3, and a 2 week. What does that all mean? Nothing but balance, balance, and more balance. On the daily, 2 day balance area, one time framing lower on the daily, one time framing lower. All right, so there's not much to talk about. You want to calculate your 2 day half back, and if there's any change to the upside, we're going to pass that 2 day half back. To the profiles, we got a squat day today. Squat, very squat. Um, 11. I'm rounding up 11-point range. 2.5 billion shares. That's very, very, very light volume. Thing to pay attention to is the very prominent point of control, which is 13 wide right here. All right. Going into tomorrow, the main reference I'm focused on We already know about the gap. We know what we need to see to enter the gap. We need lower value. We need to take out today's low, stay below today's low. If not, the market is still, from a daytime inventory perspective, still short. Please keep that in mind. We can't get in this gap in the acceptance. Don't be surprised if we trade higher. Don't be surprised if we trade higher in the overnight and open up higher in relative to yesterday, because the market is still short. And if you're a traditional market profile theorist, you understand the significance of the 45 degree. What that just shows is that traders were getting short in the hole. They were selling below value. They were just pressing, 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 right? So they're selling below value. So once they realize that, they sold at poor prices, the only way they're going to get out of their trade is to be a buyer. They're a buyer, they lift the boat, especially if you're long. That's what you're looking for. You're looking for those folks to lift your boat. So when I was in my trade today, taking the trade coming back into yesterday's range, once we got up to D, and this market, as I talked about in my morning report, it needs to behave like the shorts are trapped. What happens when the shorts are trapped? You get this panic buying. It didn't happen. And the market was trading back and forth from the open. I already knew from the beginning of the day there's going to be low confidence. And thank God Almighty, I got out, I think like 3 ticks from the high. So that was my trade today. And then that was it. So anyway, tomorrow, if you're playing, if you're long, this market needs to behave like shorts are trapped. You're going to get higher value. You're going to get one time framing to elongate value. On the downside, if there's anything happening to the downside, you're going to get, this range is nothing. You're going to get lower value, and you need one time framing to extend value. Here's the cap, here's the nuance. If we trade lower and we come back in and out of today's range, and think about it. If you're short, what's the last thing you want to see when you take the short because you're trying to go for glory at the gap fill? What are you thinking about if you're short? At a minimum, you need to take out the low and stay below the low at a minimum. And if you're not getting that and this market's steady heading up on you, how would you feel, and what are you going to do? Exactly. And that's why I said that can have this market go. Okay, so be careful of that. If we open up lower, you take the short, you want this market to keep going short from the low. You do not want it to come in and out. It can come test maybe once. Twice, the market's asking for too much, and that could be a sign that something's wrong. 3 times, get out of here. Okay? All right, that's all I got, folks. This is Olawale Okabola with Spartacus Trading Corporation, wishing you a great day.